Production. Let's get it.
Hello, it's me, Dr. Butler. I am here with Mason M. New. He is the CEO of Nutrient Solution. He is a U.S. Air Force veteran, a NASM certified nutrition coach, the author of One Quarter at a Time. He holds an associate's in information systems technology, a bachelor's in public health education, an additional bachelor's in nutrition and dietetics, and is currently pursuing his master's in nutrition with a focus of sports nutrition. Welcome, Mason.
Thank you, Dr. Butler. It's a privilege and honor to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Your book is titled One Quarter at a Time. What inspired the concept, and how does the quarter framework help people make sustainable nutrition changes?
Well, the concept was basically I'm a sports guy. You know, I grew up loving sports, and you realize the game's not won in the first 5 minutes, the first quarter. It's won every single quarter. And I got tired of people failing. It was hard for me when I had to lose 40 pounds active duty. But what I wanted to do was I wanted them to focus on not trying to change everything at once, but taking time. You know, taking time like every month, just focus on something. And I think health education and empowering individuals to understand what they're reading, understand what they're implementing, but just do it one quarter at a time. Give yourself grace.
In your book, you emphasize breaking goals into smaller, manageable segments. Can you share a client story where this approach made a major difference?
Yes. So I had a client who was really having a hard time, just trying to figure out how much to eat throughout the whole week. She wanted to focus on losing a certain amount of weight at the end of the month. And every Monday, she felt like she was starting over, or was just getting demotivated, was just getting, she wasn't excited about it anymore. So what I told her is that we're going to focus on small wins. We're going to focus on you getting 30 grams of protein for breakfast and for lunch. That's it. Log it, send it to me, and we'll sit there and discuss what it means, the DV percentages, and how much you're supposed to have based off your calorie intake. Can we do that? She said, yeah, that's easy. Just focus on that. When she started focusing on it, she started winning. Every other meal started improving. She started losing the weight. And now she was like, I have so much energy now. I said, we're just focusing on structure. We're not focusing on the end result because we're trying to have a lifetime change. So it helped her very much. And that's the exciting part of helping working with clients, is that based off how they adjust is how I adjust.
Yeah. What misconceptions about nutrition or behavior change were you hoping to challenge when you wrote this book?
That weight loss and weight management doesn't mean restrict everything. That's one. Two, motivation isn't always the key to success. Sometimes it's just structure, encouragement, and accountability groups, hanging out with people of the same interest. And then there's no perfect diet. It's only the pursuit of perfection. You know, so the misconception is that you have to restrict this amount of food. No, everything's in moderation, right? But over time, you're restricting yourself when you see that the change is changing your body.
Right.
You get motivated when you don't. Motivation really isn't. Motivation is an emotional. It's an emotional habit, right? But when you have a structure, your structure is what's going to motivate you because you're seeing your change. And then everyone has a diet, whether it's bad or it's poor. We just got to find out, how do we balance yours? You know, so that's the key.
If listeners could walk away with just one core principle from your book, One Quarter at a Time, what would you want that to be?
Consistency beats intensity.
Right.
You know, 70 to 80% consistency is going to outwork the individual who's going hard in the gym or hard in it for 2 weeks and all of a sudden they're just burnt out. If you just small wins, being consistent, the 80-20, right? 80% nutrition, 20% fitness. It's similar to how we invest our money. I would rather invest my money knowing I'm getting 80% return
Right.
So I'm just going to do it over time and just know that if I'm putting my energy into that 80%, I am going to get a bigger return than putting it into 20%. And a lot of them, they got it backwards. They think the 80% is the gym and the 20% is the diet. And what's the famous thing? You can't outwork bad diet.
Right.
So,
Right.
and that's just the core principle. Take away being consistent is being intense, but you don't have to be intense when you should have consistency.
Okay. So now you work with a wide range of clients. What is the most common nutrition mistake you see people make when they're trying to eat healthy?
Overcomplicating it. Oh my goodness, there's so much information out there that it's misleading. You've seen it on social media. Hey, if you drink this or drink that and do, it doesn't work for everyone.
Right.
And that's one of the least credible forms of information that you can actually consider as credible information when it comes to science-based, peer-reviewed evidence. Detoxes, the trends, the carb timing, the seed oils. So you know what? We ignore total protein, macronutrient density, sleep, hydration, and just mood. It's like food mood, like mood food. I think it's the mood food, right? The way you eat can also change your emotional. It can be the way you eat, you take care of yourself, you'll wake up energized and I feel good today. I skipped breakfast yesterday. I made breakfast today. I win. So the misconception is that you don't have to lose 20, 30 pounds or do all this. You just got to stay in your lane. What works for you is only for you. You can't emulate everybody else.
Right. From your perspective as a nutritionist, what are the most underrated habits that improve long-term health but don't get enough attention?
Oh my goodness, especially after 40. Resistance training.
Right?
I didn't realize going through my master's in sports nutrition. I understand before then I understood, working out, lean body mass, but it goes into physiology. When we age, everything starts to seem like it doesn't function as our metabolism isn't that high anymore. So when we actually get out and start resistance training, that actually helping us stay mobile. It said our back is stronger when we're hitting like 55, 60. Another thing is protein distribution throughout the whole day. If I say, hey, you need to eat 112 grams of protein in a day, they'll look at 100 grams of protein. I said, let's break that down to 5 meals and focus on what you're supposed to eat every single meal and then sleep, especially for entrepreneurs. It's almost like we don't get enough sleep, but if we don't get enough sleep, how can we function throughout the day, especially being older, so it's important. It's like muscle is metabolic currency. Once we're constantly being resilient and maintaining our lean mass, the return on investment, you're going to be healthier. My aunt is 61 years old and she's still running 5Ks. So it's awesome. I like to see older individuals, especially our age, being consistent. So.
How do you approach nutrition with clients who feel overwhelmed, discouraged, stuck in a all or nothing mindset?
First, I have to normalize the all or nothing, right? We have to normalize everything. Most people are taught dieting. They're not taught lifestyle regulation. Meaning that if you're focused on losing 20 pounds, that's just the outcome goal. We got to focus on the behavior change.
Right.
So you can lose 20 pounds, but you're not focused on the number. You're focused on how many grams of protein you get per meal. So we shift that perspective, we shift that mindset, because that structure creates stability. So you got to know what a win is. A win doesn't if we're supposed to lose maybe 1 to 2 pounds a week.
Yeah.
And that's healthy.
Right.
Anything faster than that, we got to start, hey, hold on, what's going on, right? But if you lose 2 pounds, if you look at the scale oh, I'm not looking at the scale, but yet your pants is getting loose, you win.
Hmm.
So we got to normalize what's winning and what society thinks winning is.
Right. Many women experience body changes in their composition during the menopausal stages. What nutritional shifts do you recommend to support metabolism and muscle preservation during this stage?
And this is coming from a education standpoint because I
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right,
Yeah.
because I don't understand it physically,
Mhm.
but I understand that when the body's going to go through those changes, those hormonal imbalances, estrogen declines. When estrogen declines, insulin sensitivity,
Mhm.
you have accelerated muscle loss and
Mhm.
increased the fat storage around the
Right,
center area.
right.
And when you was doing a study about menopause and resistance training, it's like, well, it does make sense. But what the focus needs to shift to is being active like that, but how much protein? About 0.7 to 1.1 grams of protein per 1 kilogram of body weight, right? Depending on how you're active, you might need more.
Mhm.
So managing stress and sleep, um, resistance training 3 to 4 times a week, and then prioritizing fiber,
Mhm.
and just having a balanced, colorful meal. The goal isn't eating less; it's basically preserving lean mass so that you feel stronger and it builds confidence.
Right. Hot flashes, sleep disturbances, cravings can make nutrition so much harder to manage. What strategies do you suggest for women that are navigating the menopausal stages?
First, blood sugar stabilization.
Hmm.
Because when you're eating protein at every meal, especially lean, and we know what I'm saying, if we want to understand what lean is, I can show them what lean is. It's half the meat that don't really taste good. So we got to actually start flavoring our stuff up. But protein at every single meal, that's the key. That's the first thing first. And you balance the carbs. You make sure you're getting magnesium. How much magnesium is in foods? What foods have magnesium?
Mhm.
And it's normal stuff that we probably have around the house that we don't realize that if I implement this into my diet daily, I'm actually increasing my magnesium. Reduce the ultra processed foods. This thing that says it's healthy, but it really isn't. So just educating what we eat, and then make sure that we getting that rest. Is cortisol deregulation, and
Mhm.
that's key for repairing the body.
Right. So now I know we've been talking about protein. So protein, the needs often increase during midlife,
Hmm.
especially for women once we lose, start losing our estrogen. How do you help women understand and meet their protein requirements without feeling like they're on a diet?
Oh man, it's first understanding how protein, when it's insufficient, you get cravings.
Hmm.
When your protein is sufficient, it manages the cravings, and then you have power over the cravings. Most of the cravings just come from appetite, from a physiological, psychological trigger, right? It's like you smell something, you're like, ooh, I need to. But when you actually eating that protein, we're satisfied. We don't think we can do other things. We I refrain from protein muscle as protection, not dieting,
Hmm.
you know. So how many grams of protein are you going to get every meal? Is it lean? Are you tracking it? Are you getting enough? You know what I'm saying? Because if you have too much protein, your kidney's going to have to do all that filtering and that functioning, and that's hard work on the kidney.
Hmm.
So we got to know how much we're eating, because sometimes we go out to eat and don't even know how to measure the protein when we even look at it.
Right.
So we just got to understand how to get the protein in when we're working out, maintain lean muscle mass, and it also directs the energy to the muscle glycogen and like starving the fat cells.
Hmm.
So it's key. Protein is so important.
Right. If you could give menopausal women one piece of nutrition advice
Mhm.
that would make the biggest impact on their energy, body composition, and overall health, what would it be?
First, go to Dr. Butler's gym and work it out. I'm saying resistance training. Ladies, get in there. You can do it. Um, Adequate protein, like we're saying. I mean, I know I repeated it over and over again, but that is the building block of cellular structure.
Right.
Right. Sleep, get some rest, sleep, relax, and because when you do all that, you're gonna increase your metabolic energy. Your energy is going to increase bone density. We're talking about that. When you put the load on muscle, it increases your bone mineral density, insulin sensitivity, and confidence.
Right.
I'm pretty sure when, just like me, when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, boy, come on, ladies do the same thing. And sometimes you got to praise ourselves in order to just be like, you know what, I'm doing this. And I chose to win instead of choose to fail. But you got to have an accountability team. Get around other people that are doing the same thing. So, and that's just my encouragement portion for your sisters and ladies.
Well, it has been a pleasure.
Yes,
Please tell us how we can get in contact with you.
Most definitely. So you can go to nutrientsolutions.com, free subscription. On my website, I have blogs, nutrition tips, nutrition advice, also events. I like to do hikes, and we actually have one coming up soon. But I like to do hikes. You can also find me on my TikTok. That's where I'll be putting some of my meal plans. I do everything on there, But Nutrient Solutions on IG, and you can also go to my Facebook, Nutrient Solutions on Facebook as well. So y'all just tap in, and just see what we're doing some amazing things over here.
All right. Well, thank you for coming. We've learned that protein is very important.
Yes.
Resistance training is very, very, very important. Yes. But thank you. It's been a great conversation. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.